Boiling Point. Boiling Point is where I'm going to start today. Happy Sunday to everyone. Tempers may be a little chiller today than they were last night, but I think the South Carolina fan base is at a serious boiling point after the 29-22 loss to Alabama last week. Let's talk about it. But before we get into it, please like, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everyone that comes and help support the channel. Love all you guys. And it is Sunday morning, the Lord's Day. So wishing everyone happiness and blessings today. But let's get into the frustration. Let's get into the real scab that is over the wound that is South Carolina 2025. There were a lot of attacks on players last night. There's been a lot of frustration came out. A lot of adult beverages obviously had been consumed, and people were putting stuff on X that you really wouldn't expect to say some of the things that they said. I get a lot of people are frustrated, but let's look at it and what is the real frustration? It's the season, right? Beamer's post game last night kind of set this off again for the people that listen to it. Mike Shula. If we're going to have Lenoris throw 28 times, 20 of them don't need to be from the pocket. Why does this take to week 8 to talk about? Everyone has been screaming about this all year long. Sellers not a pocket passer. Needs to move the pocket. Need to get him out in space. Let him create. That's the type of running back he is. We insisted this whole year on trying to make him a pocket passer. Obviously, Mike Shula is still insisting on making Lenoris Sellers a pocket passer. Now, I get it. A lot of fans pointed the finger at Lenoris last night about the fumble, and he lost the football game, and he can't make $4 million and make that play. The play call was on Mike Shula. Mike Shula called it up the middle and ran Lenoris Sellers in a pack of 300, anywhere from 250 to 300-plus pound guys. The ball was stripped out. Lenoris wasn't careless with it like he was. He had times in that game last night that, yeah, he had that thing hanging out there and put it kind of in some dangerous territory. We saw him break a run, and honestly, I thought the Alabama kid was going to hit it from behind and cause a fumble. He was able to outrun the guy, and he never really got a hand on the football. But, yeah, there was very dangerous moments. The pass where Sewell bobbles, it gets picked off, it's a pick six. That's not on Lenoris Sellers. I mean, he put it in the hands of the running back. It's not his fault that Sewell was looking to run before he secured the football. We can't point the finger at Sellers for that. Sellers made a lot of plays and escaped. Pressure again, had guys hanging on. And you seen the one Alabama defender was so furious, so frustrated that he thought he had Sellers down at one time. And even though the play might have not broken out for a big play, but Sellers got you either back to the line of scrimmage, sometimes got you 1 or 2 extra yards, made positive out of what should have been negative. Offensive line was improved, but why did it take to wait week 6 after? I think there's a frustration. Lonnie Teasley should have been released after last year. We gave up over 40 sacks, one of the worst teams in the country last year when it came to sacks. Now, some of that you can say Lenoris held the ball too long, should have thrown it away. He's a creator. He's trying to create plays. Sometimes you're going to live and die with a guy like that. Even in the NFL, some of the greatest QBs of all time did the same thing, held onto the ball too long, tried to create plays when you really should have thrown it away. And I don't think Sellers would tell you any different. He made some mistakes last night, but you're not in that game without him either. So let's not go beat the kid too bad. He made some plays. The touchdown he ran in. I mean, where's the Nick Harbor been since earlier in the season? We hit him for a big play, and we don't come back to that play until now. When your season is basically you're desperate as a coach to make something happen, and you know the fan base is really mad at you. Let's just put it in a mild term. I still call it, last night was the boiling point for the fans versus coaches and then turning on players. And this ain't just the Alabama loss that was so frustrating. It's the whole season. And it just finally, last night, I think, it reached a boiling point till people started truly lashing out in ways that they probably go back and look today and say, maybe I had too many adult. Look, that's raw passion. That's what makes a fan, is raw passion. I used to do it myself. I don't drink during games anymore or anything like that. I don't drink before doing my post-game show. I did drink a beer when we beat Kentucky with everybody because I bring my raw emotion comes out and I say a lot of things I don't mean when I'm at that point myself. And I think fans are at that point. Mike Shula's 3-6 as the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. Cannot really score over 20 points a game. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to hear your coach say that it's taken till the 8th game of the season to tell your offensive coordinator to get Lenoris on the move and out of the pocket. I can understand the anger, the frustration, but let's make sure we're putting that where it belongs, and it's the adults in the room. Kids are out there. They're making plays. It's hot. They're sweaty. They're trying to do their best. Mistakes will be made. Alabama made their own mistakes last night. Lenore Sellers matched Ty Simpson, who is being considered a Heisman Trophy, maybe even a Heisman frontrunner right now. Lenore Sellers probably outplayed him because Alabama has a good offensive line. South Carolina's offensive line is not very good. Now, it's improved under Sean Elliott, but aren't we a little late in the game for that? That could have happened in the offseason, and I think that's another frustration of fans. Had we made that move and got rid of Teasley and put Sean Elliott in charge of that offensive line in the offseason, how much better would this team be right now? If we adjusted our offense after look, we all made excuses through Virginia Tech and South Carolina State and would say we were holding back our playbook. They're going to open it up more when we get into playing Vanderbilt and Missouri, and it hadn't happened. And that's another frustrating part. The whole South Carolina was ranked going into the season. The whole looking at the talent on the football team, the returning talent. Even though we lost a lot of defensive guys, we have to say the defense looks really good overall. They have their moments. They have their letdowns. They had a letdown and let Alabama get the tying touchdown and 2-point conversion last night. But overall game, they played really well. If you got to think, 6 of the points that Alabama scored was the pick six. Now, Alabama gave us opportunities back. The punt did hit the guy on the leg. South Carolina goes on to score from that. It was one of those games where both teams made mistakes. And whoever made the last mistake was going to lose the football game. And we made the last mistake. And we lost the football game. The decision to give up that last touchdown, Beamer said if they got the first down, give up the points. Is that the proper decision? I don't know. We can second guess that now and say, well, even though they got the first down, they were going to run the clock down and kick a field goal to win the football game. I think our laws of averages were better on the field goal kicker to miss a field goal, no matter the length of the field goal, because we've seen kickers miss extra points. Law of averages, you take your chance with blocking or the guy missing the field goal in that type of situation. It's a game-winning field goal, pressure zone. I haven't looked at Alabama's kicker. I don't know his percentages. I don't know how good he is. Maybe they knew that, and that's why they decided to give up the points. I still think knowing you are only going to have a 30 seconds, a little over 30 seconds left in the football game, and you have to go down the field and score a touchdown, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to think that the percentages were in South Carolina's favor to make that happen. It just, I don't know. I watched a lot of football, and I don't see how your percentage of winning that football game would have had to come. Because then, once he kicks the field goal, if he makes it game over, giving up 7 points, 30 seconds left, you got to get a touchdown. We haven't had the best time management. We just saw it in the past couple weeks where we didn't manage time well. We threw balls against Oklahoma going into the half. We threw a ball in the middle of the field. Hunt gets tackled. Time runs out. We don't get any points out of it. So I don't know about that decision, but we can second guess that now, right? It's Sunday, the Sunday morning quarterback thing. Gut-wrenching loss. Beamer worded it. The gut-wrenching loss. All these losses are gut-wrenching, Shane Beamer. Not just to Alabama is a gut-wrenching loss. Losing to Vanderbilt at home, who South Carolina has dominated, is a gut-wrenching loss. Probably more gut-wrenching losing to Vanderbilt than losing to Alabama, who's considered one of the best teams in the country. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say losing to Vanderbilt is more gut-wrenching than losing, especially the fashion that we lost to Vanderbilt? That's gut-wrenching. Losing to Mizzou on the road. Eli's pretty much owned South Carolina. That's pretty damn gut-wrenching. Don't you think? Now that we look at the LSU game, LSU got demolished by Texas A&M. We got to go on the road to Texas A&M. Not a good feeling as a Gamecock fan, thinking positive that we're going to go out there and win that football game if you go and look and see what they did to a LSU team that beat us. And they did it at LSU, and they did it at night. Doesn't make my stomach feel all warm and fuzzy that we have to go to College Station and play that football team. Oklahoma beat us. Ole Miss struggled with Oklahoma. They did for a while. But it almost looked like Lane Kiffin was just waiting on that opportunity. He knew he was going to win the football game. He had Oklahoma where he wanted him. He had set it up all game to go down there and get that touchdown that ultimately was going to win the football game for him. He was like a cat playing with a mouse. We got to go to Ole Miss. I don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling about that one either. I mean, I'm just being honest. But I think the frustration, honestly, if we lose to Clemson, that's probably going to be the ultimate just explosive point for South Carolina fans this year. At home, again, we've struggled with Clemson at home. We beat them on the road twice, Beamer has, but can't beat them at home. And Clemson's a struggling team. Fans are frustrated up there. So there is no turning this season around, I don't think. All you can do is look at improving, right? Coaching up, improving, making changes. You got to just throw caution to the wind now and just throw everything at every team we play because this is it. You got 4 games left. You got to win 3 of them to get bowl eligible. And it's just not pretty. Right now, you would say we're definitely not favored against Ole Miss. You're not going to be favored against Texas A&M. Depending on what Clemson does the rest of this year, who's going to be favored in that football game? I mean, that's a battle of bumping uglies right there to me. Coastal, you're going to be favored, but you're not going to be a huge favorite over Coastal because South Carolina's not playing good. Just overall, yes, there were so many great things that came out of last night and so many improvements that look better, but just when it counted, right? Just dropping interceptions when you need those plays. You have to make those are the type plays you also have to make to be the top 5 football team, and we didn't make them. It's frustrating as a fan, and I'm not going to, if you want to attack a kid, more power to you. I hope that makes you feel better. And I know a lot of these people on X are already young kids, right? We know the vast majority of them are college kids or in their 20s. So going after someone that they're close to the same age of, that probably going to happen. And they don't know the nuances of college football. As adults and fathers and people that have families, if someone attacks our kid, we're going to get defensive. And I'm going to defend Lenore Sellers, and I'll defend the players on this football team. Because to me, in my eyes, they are kids. They're the same age as my kids. And if someone attacked my child, we're going to have an issue. So I'm not going to allow that on this channel. And if people don't like that, hey, don't subscribe. I want people to subscribe. I want you to sit here and talk about it. If a kid makes mistakes, then you can talk about it. But you don't have to attack them personal over things like that. it's a game at the end of the day, and attacking people personally. I mean, I've said stuff about Beamer and Mike Shula and everything, and but they're adults in the room. Mike Shula's 60 years old. Do you think Rooster calling him a dumbass is something he's never been called before? He's been called dumbass plenty of times. I am very sure of that. I'm sure the Alabama fans called him dumbass way more than South Carolina fans because he was there for 4 years. I'm pretty sure they called him a dumbass the vast majority of those years. Shula's 3-6. We talked about that as an offense coordinator. Can't get over really 20 points. Not going to beat many top 5 football teams, top 10 football teams if you can't score more than 20 points offensively. Can't depend on special teams and defense to always score for you. It's just frustrating, man. Waiting 8 weeks to game the 8th game of the season when you have a losing record, and then deciding you're gonna do the captain obvious shit of move your quarterback around, let him be an athlete, let him make plays, let him take the opportunities to run when he sees open space. It's just something we've not done. Now, currently, Shane Beamer's 32-26. Some fans want him to go to Virginia Tech. Some fans just, they're done with Beamer. They're tired of listening to him. I have my moments I don't want to hear anything Shane Beamer's got to say. I'll be honest, like, just the sound of his voice pisses me off. Because I look back and you could have made the change of offensive line coach in the offseason. This has been a disaster for Shane Beamer since he started at South Carolina with the offensive line not being very good. Some things are forgiven. His first year, so many different quarterbacks. And then he had a better second year. Third year was a disaster. Blamed it on the injury. Year 4, you come back and win 9. You go 9-3 in the regular season. And then this year just falls apart on you. But if you looked at it statistically, you knew there were some changes that needed to be made in the offseason, and you didn't make those changes. And one of them was offensive line coach. Why Teasley, Atkins, those guys were retained, I have no idea. Especially when you hire a guy like Sean Elliott. Just should have made that move instantly. And I think that's the frustrating part for fans. We know it. We saw it. It's happened. We waited till week 6 to make the change at offensive line coach. By that time, you'd already put yourself in a bad position. The kids now are you got to change a mentality at Sean Elliott of the kids, the mindset. Now you're changing your blocking schemes. Was it a bullshit call when Lenore ran in for the touchdown on the holding call? Yeah. Could have been a big momentum changer, took the game in a different direction, yeah. But, I mean, there were times, too, we could have took chances to score more touchdowns. We settled for field goals. We missed the field goal again. But I think fans really doesn't have a good outlook on the rest of the season. Let's just face the fact. There's not a good outlook for the rest of the season. People are looking at South Carolina to be 4-8, at best 5-7. If you take out Coastal Clemson, no one feels good about the rest of our SEC football games. Could South Carolina upset Ole Miss or Texas A&M? You have the talent to upset anybody. The problem is putting it all together on the field and staying consistent enough and making the plays when you need to make the plays to do that. So as far as Beamer losing his job, getting fired, moving on to Virginia Tech, who knows, man? A lot of people at Donati saying he doesn't have the balls to get rid of Beamer. The buyout's too big. We're complaining about a $28 million buyout, and coaches are out here getting axed with much, much larger buyouts. I think Beamer, we've talked about it before, what's his plan for the future? What's his plan for coordinators? What changes would he make? I'll all be in the discussion on whether South Carolina moves on from Beamer or not. Like I said, I have my opinion on Beamer. I think it's with the frustration in the fan base right now and everything that's going on. When it starts going bad like that and the milk starts souring, you got to throw it out, right? And get fresh milk. And I don't know after this year, is there enough repair between Shane Beamer and the fan base and the frustration is there enough he can do to repair that relationship? Now, a lot of the fan base is they're still on the Beamer wagon, so it's not gonna be hard for him to turn them. It's the fans that are really off of him right now that think we wasted a lot of talent this year, that we wasted an NFL quarterback this year. Just think we did dumb shit by not changing O-line coaches or wait until week 8. So right now, if you look at it, if you were to say Shane Beamer, we go 4-8. That means he wins one more game. That's coastal when he loses 3. You're looking at 33-29, not just barely above 500, and a much, much worse SEC record. You're going to end the season with a 1-7 SEC record. Not going to go over well with the fans. But I think the real explosive moment's going to come against Clemson, and if we lose that football game, that might be if you're on the seesaw, that might tip the seesaw to all the fans pretty much being done with Shane Beamer. You can't lose. To me, the Clemson game is going to be the most important game in Shane Beamer's career up to date at South Carolina. If you lose that game at home, this fan base, more and more people coming to the dark side. More and more people is going to gather on the side of Beamer needs to go. It's time for a change. We need to bring in some fresh blood. And if I had any advice to Shane Beamer, don't lose that game, brother. If you want to be a Gamecock, I know it's your dream job, but your ass is on the line. Anyway, love all you guys. Please like, subscribe. If you don't subscribe. If you're just going to come out here and try to be a troll like a lot of the people were last night, and I know a lot of them in that chat section were just trolls, just troll accounts that try to get people worked up and fired up and pissed off, I'll just block you, honestly. If you're not bringing good conversation to the table, I'll block you. I don't do the rage baiting thing. We don't do racial stuff over here. If you think you're going to come in here and say racial shit, you're not going to do it. You'll be blocked, banned. I'll report your ass to YouTube and get your channel taken down. If anyone ever comes on here and makes a racial comment like somebody did last night, believe me, you will be reported to YouTube and lose your channel. So I'd advise that not to happen. But anyway, it's a beautiful Sunday. You guys go enjoy your day, and we'll holler at you later.